be too far over. I think I'm too far over. That's me. It looks like it is. I tell you, I really appreciate these short meetings. Yep. Bob.
Pardon me? Yes, ma'am. Okay, okay. All right, that's fine. So, anyway. You're welcome. Call me anytime if you need a ride, so don't feel like you're a burden. I'm glad to do it.
Our grandson called us the other night from Georgia on his way to Florida. Andrea's. Let me turn this off.
Just push the button. Top.
You did.
I didn't see Carrie.
Carrie's not here.
Do you know who it is? But I don't know his name. I don't.
No, I just blanked out. I'm sorry.
Was it Matt?
It wasn't Matt.
It wasn't. Okay, it wasn't him. Sometimes he's. I don't know who else they would send, but I don't see him now. Or is that him? The regular jacket?
It is.
Okay, because I don't know who that is. Thank you.
Okay, I'm embarrassed.
You didn't get his name?
Well, let's look at it from this standpoint. You know, I'm getting old.
You're purposing it already.
And once we chatted, we started talking about other stuff, and then I probably forgot. But he says, you know it. So I feel like I'm off the hook
He
there.
looks very familiar, but I don't know who. I don't see the comps outside of Carrie. I mean,
But to save some face and to recover my fumble, I did ask him to check in with you at the end of the meeting.
I hope he does, because he won't be in my minutes, and if there's a crime committed, he won't have an alibi. So, anyway.
Y'all
We're ready.
down here? Ready down here? All right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Texas City Council. Today is Monday, January the 22nd, 2024. Would like to welcome those who are joining us in the audience this evening on this wet, cool January evening, as well as those who are joining us online. We have a rather large audience this evening, and we certainly thank you for your time and the opportunity for you to be here with us this evening. And at this time, I'm going to ask our City Secretary, Jennifer Evans, to provide a roll call. Ms. Evans?
Ms. Matlock?
Here.
Mr. Metter?
Here.
Ms. Page?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
Ms. Hart? Mr. Davis?
Here. And we do have a full council this evening, and I will be leading the invocation. And we also have with us this evening representatives from our local Boy Scout troop, Troop 19. And at this time, I'm going to ask the Boy Scouts in the audience if you will please come forward. And after I deliver the invocation, I'm going to ask our Troop 19 Boy Scouts to lead us in the pledge this evening. So, gentlemen, if y'all would please come up to the front. Okay, if everyone else would please stand. If you bow your heads, please. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We ask that you guide the council this evening as we conduct the business on behalf of our citizens. I ask that you bless all the council members here this evening, provide them safe journeys back to their homes, in addition to our staff and those who are attending our council meeting this evening, that everyone will have safe travels. And that we ask that you guide this council as we begin a new calendar year with a lot of exciting things coming up, that you will guide and direct us in each and everything that we do. We ask these things in your Son's precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, guys.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Just some upcoming dates that are coming up. Our council meetings during the month of February will be held on Monday, February the 12th, and Monday, February the 26th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. Also, our homeless count and annual bridge chili cook-off will be taking place. The Texarkana Homeless Coalition will conduct its annual point in time, PIT, homeless population count on Thursday, January the 25th. And also the TXKHC's Bridge City Project Chili Cook-Off will be held on January the 26th from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at 324 East Broad Street in Texarkana, Arkansas. And this will be located in the Cross Ties Grass area. The annual Bridge City Chili Cook-Off challenges members of the community and organizations to enter their best chili recipe in a chili cook-off competition. And to register for the annual Bridge City Chili Cook-Off, that's hard to say. Bridge City Chili Cook-Off on 2024, you can visit the city's website or contact Vashil Fernandez, and he'll be glad to assist you as well. And we also have general parks and recreation information can be found on the city's website as well. This past week, we had a very enjoyable week as we had one of our city's what we refer to as a hometown hero who came back to visit Texarkana. We had Dr. Otis Williams, who is the founding member and current member of the very, very popular and well-known singing group, The Temptations. And Dr. Williams was in town this past week. There were 2 murals that were dedicated in his honor during activities that were held on Thursday. Councilmember Matlock participated in those activities, and I want to thank you for doing that, Ms. Matlock. And we also had a concert at the Pro Theater this past Friday evening where the Temptations were in performance. and it was virtually a sold-out house for that particular event. Approximately 1,100 showed up for that particular event. It was a very, very good concert. Dr. Williams was very appreciative about the recognition that he received, and he talked about and reminisced about growing up here in Texarkana until he was at the age of 11. And when he was 11 years old, he moved to Detroit, Michigan to live with his mother. He lived here previously with his grandparents over in the Sunset portion of the city. And so he had very, very fond memories of that. And like I said, he was very humbled and very appreciative for the recognition that he rightfully deserved in reference to being here last week. He is 82 years old. And when they're on stage performing, they're doing all those Motown dance moves. And I mean, he's right there in with the rest of them. So I asked him, I whispered to him when I saw him Thursday afternoon and found out how old he was. I asked him if he could write down the different vitamins that he takes, and I'm going to start taking some of those vitamins because that may be the key there. So anyway, so we want to thank him for being here, and he still has family members who live here in Texarkana, so that I had a chance to visit with some of them as well. At this time, we're going to have a special presentation. This is an Eagle Scout project, and Grayson Davis is a local member of Troop 19, and he recently received his Eagle Scout Award, and I was made aware of what he was doing as far as his Eagle Scout Award, and I thought that this was something that is going to be very beneficial to our community. And so he is here this evening to share some information with us about his project, how he kind of went about it and the ideas for doing it, and then how he is putting this in place. So Grayson, if you'll please come forward, and if you'll just stand over here at the podium where the microphone is, and other leaders that are here. I know Grayson's dad's here, Mr. Davis is here as well, so I want to thank you all for being here this evening, and thank you for your attendance, and congratulations on your award. And Grayson, if you will just kind of tell us a little bit about how you developed this idea as far as this particular project, and then maybe go into some detail as far as how you went about it. I think you may have a video or some visuals for us to see as well. So I'm just going to turn it over to you to provide us with some information. And once again, thank you for being here.
Thank you. So we have gotten a bunch of questions about where to drop off flags, and the Boy Scouts do Eagle Flag retirements. So I just thought it would be a good idea to have somewhere where everyone could have a place to turn in old retired flags that need to be retired so they can be retired in a respectful way. We have 8 locations throughout Texarkana, and we actually recently had a flag retirement at the VFW, and we asked each troop that we gave our the flag drop-off boxes to, and they currently check up on it, and they themselves do the flag retirements, and we keep up with each flag box. And my grandmother actually helped me with the idea. Mm-hmm. She was I think she was on Pinterest, and she saw it, and I thought that would be a really good thing for Texarkana to have.
You might share with the group how you came about obtaining your receptacles to put the flags in. That's kind of interesting too.
Yes, sir. So the Texarkana Gazette donated all of the boxes, and we just refurbished them, and we put a box inside so that it wouldn't get wet, so the flags could stay dry and just stay clean as far as they are.
So someone, if they have a flag that they need to have retired, they can just go to one of the 8 different locations throughout the city and just place their flag inside that box or container, and then you all will take it from there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Our 8 locations are at the Caddo Area Council Building on 24th Linwood Drive, the Hardy Memorial Methodist Church, the Pat 19 TFL Building at 111 East 4th Street, the VFW on 47,000 East 9th Street, the Knights of Columbus, and the William Memorial Methodist Church, and First Moore Baptist at Troop 16.
Okay.
Those are our 8 locations. And yes, we just we have regular checkups on each of our drop boxes, and each troop just keeps up with these drop boxes. They're all on our Facebook page for the Boy Scouts.
And so are all those boxes in place? I mean,
Yes,
are
sir.
so as
They
of
are
right
right
now, any citizen in the community could go and drop off at one of those locations
Yes, sir.
a flag that needs to be retired.
Yes, sir. As of right now, they are.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Any questions from the council in reference to this project?
Just appreciate you doing that. I know that there's a need. A couple years ago, I needed to retire one, and it actually was a chore trying to find a group to take care of that. So,
Yes, sir.
congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, good. Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. That's something very worthwhile. Ties in with the scouting program, and we certainly appreciate the great effort that you did in this project, and this will benefit the citizens for years to come as far as retiring a flag, making sure that it's done in a respectful manner. So thank you for thinking about that, and thank you for going through with the project and doing it. I know that there were others who helped you with this. Would you kind of like to share with us some of those who may have helped you along with the project?
Yes, sir. So my brother and my dad helped me rebuild the boxes, and pretty much all of our troop helped me place them. Bill, just most of our troop members helped me place them. Charlie helped me get the materials for the drop box, and my grandmother helped me with the stickers, the vinyl stickers on the drop box.
I was going to say, if you go onto the Facebook page for Troop 19 of Caddo area, you can actually find the whole process actually lined up on there as well, with pictures as well as the location, just in case anybody didn't actually write those down. You can actually pull that up there, and you can actually see with doing that project, VFW actually, when we did the retirement flag ceremony, they said, you know, hey, we want you guys to come out and help us with this, since you guys are doing this big project. Well, Grayson was doing that project, and while there, you can't imagine all the VFW members that were there that just came up there and just wanted to shake his hand. I think that by the time the day was over, his arm was like, I felt like jello and stuff like that.
Yes,
So it was
sir.
pretty cool to actually see that the older generation is seeing that this new generation is coming up and actually has respect for the flag. So.
Well, that's excellent. That's very, very good, and you all are to be commended for that. And then your Troop 19, your host location, where do you all meet?
Yes, sir. We are at, let me pull it up real quick. The 111th East 4th Street at the KFL building.
Okay, so that's where y'all have your meetings and things
Yes,
like
sir.
that? The KLFI building over here on East 4th and State Line? Okay.
sir.
Okay, well, very good. All right. Well, thank you very much. Anything else you want to add? Or?
Just want to say that I'm super proud of our scouts, especially with this project right here. Again, just look us up on Facebook. Like I said, we're trying to be very active in the community. In just the last 4 or 5 years, Troop 19 has come out of nowhere to what it used to be. Like I said, one of the only 2 on Arkansas side, besides Presbyterian and like our Troop 19.
Okay, well, very good. All right, well, Grayson, congratulations and best of luck to you. I also want to thank the other fellow members in Troop 19. Thank you for your service as well. Thank you for leading us in the pledge this evening. And you're welcome to stay the remainder of the meeting or a portion of the meeting, but if you have things that you need to tend to this evening, I certainly understand that. And you're welcome to leave at any time, and you're also welcome to stay if you'd like. So once again, thank you, Grayson.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I
Appreciate it. Let's give him a round of applause. At this time, we'll move along to our open forum comments from the public. If there's anyone here this evening who would like to address the council, you're welcome to do so. You will have up to 5 minutes to speak on any topic. However, if you are here this evening to address the council relating to one of our public hearing items, then I'll ask if you'll please wait until we get to that particular item. We'll be more than happy to listen to your comments at that particular time. We also ask that you complete one of the sheets that can be found in the box next to the door on the wall back there. And Ms. Evans, we did not have any sheets filled out. Is there anyone who would like to address the council this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move forward. Next, we'll move along to appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Do we have any appointments this evening by the council for relating to appointments to boards, commissions, or committees? Hearing none, we move along to items for consideration. We do have 4 items on the consent agenda this evening. Item 1 is to consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council held on January the 8th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Item 2 is resolution number 2024-013, acknowledging receipt of the Police Department's 2023 racial profiling report as statutorily required. Item number 3, joint resolution number 2024-014 with the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, supporting the fiscal year 2024 RAISE grant application for state line corridor improvements. Item number 4, resolution number 2024-015, authorizing the city manager to approve a purchase from Richardson Fence and Patio Incorporated, TIPS buy board account number 23010402 for the removal of an existing fence and installation of a new fence for George Dobson Baseball Field with funds budgeted in the 2023 bond fund number 426. And so unless there's anyone who would like to have one of these items pulled for further consideration, then I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as it has been approved.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Hart, second by Councilmember Matlock. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, the consent agenda has been approved. We do have one action item this evening on the agenda. It's item number 5, resolution number 2024-017, authorizing the city manager to negotiate a lease agreement with Mid-America League for the George Dobson Baseball Field, and we have this on the agenda for council consideration and action this evening. And Keith Beeson with us is going to brief us on this particular item, and I think we have a special guest here as well with the organization, Mr. Perry. And so, Keith, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Sure. Mayor, Council, thank you for giving us this time. We have Matt Perry with Mid-America League here, and he is wanting to speak with us about an exciting opportunity at George Dobson Field with the Mid-America League. So, Matt, if you would join us.
All right. Well, good evening, Mr. Perry. We're glad to have you with us this evening, and we look forward to your remarks, sir.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for the invite, and I'm glad to be here. I came down from Kansas and hoping when I head back up, it's not all icy. So it's staying warm enough here, which is great. It's easy enough to get around. But a little bit about myself. I've been in the baseball business for over 35 years now. I've been involved in the ownership and operation of over 50 teams now, both baseball and hockey. We've owned and operated teams. We've consulted for teams. We've been involved in developing stadium projects. We've bought and sold naming rights. We've bought and sold franchises. So this is kind of the space I've lived in since I got out of college. Interestingly enough, my first job in the industry was back in the 80s. I was working for the Midland Angels, which was a AA team in Midland, Texas. And so got to spend several years in Texas and get to know the area, which was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. For those baseball enthusiasts that know Joe Madden, who ended up managing a Major League champion World Series team, Joe was our manager as he was making his way up when we were in Midland, Texas in the 80s. So got to know him as he was working his way up the system. So We've been involved in owning and operating summer collegiate teams since 2017. We've owned 3 teams since then. And about 2 years ago, we connected with another gentleman in the industry who'd been working on a potential league in the Texas area with the idea of forming our own league, which became the Mid-America League. And we always felt that if we could find the right area of the country to put the league in that and operate it the way we want to, let's make that happen. Let's pursue it. And fast forwarding to where we are now, we've lined up 6 markets for our inaugural season upcoming in May. We start in Joplin, Missouri, and as we come down south to Fort Smith, Arkansas, then to Texarkana. And then we go west to White Oak, Longview area, Sherman, Texas, and then Abilene. And I was just in Abilene, and they had a big kickoff for their team. They had probably 400 people show up for an event, and they've announced their new name and have their merchandise out, and we're doing that in all of our markets now with our ownership groups. One thing we really want to focus on, a little bit about the season. The season will run from late May through early August. We'll play 68 home games, so there'll be 68 games total, 34 home games, 34 road games. And we really want to focus on family entertainment. That's really what we're about. There's going to be a baseball game going on in the background, and we're going to have the opportunity to have some really high-quality players. Division I, Division II, Division III, junior college. And it's really about giving these kids the opportunity to continue to develop. And every year, I'm sure we'll have a certain number of kids that get drafted by major league organizations. But for the community, we really strive to create this social atmosphere for people to come out and have fun. Inexpensive family entertainment. And come out and enjoy the opportunity to be with your family, with friends. And we'll have promotions and make it exciting and fun out at George Dobson. But, you know, we're really looking at this as a long-term home. And we always have our eyes wide open. When we come into a market that's got a history of baseball, and a fairly recent one where a team was here, and for whatever reason, it's not here anymore, and they decided to leave the market. We're coming in looking at this as not just, you know, it's not dipping a toe in the water. We want to build the infrastructure right from the get-go and look at this thing for the long term. And we know it's an investment in time and funds to get there, and things aren't going to happen overnight. But if we do things right in the community, people are going to want to come out. They're going to enjoy it. Businesses are going to want to associate with us as sponsors. You know, that's why, from our perspective, you know, we're looking at a longer-term lease agreement out of the chute, and not just, well, 1 year, we'll see how it goes. That's not, with our 35-plus years in the business, we aren't really, we aren't motivated by opportunities to just, again, dip our toe in the water and see what happens. We really want to sink our roots into a market and make it work. And that's our goal here. One of the differentiators for our league that we're going to have versus a lot of other leagues out there is we're going to offer NIL opportunities for the kids. And NIL is name, image, and likeness. And it's one of the newest things hitting collegiate athletics, and it allows kids, college kids, to go to autograph sessions, to post on social media, but they can get paid to do that, paid by the team, paid by sponsors, whatever. And most of these kids, especially in baseball, they aren't making a lot of money. And this is an opportunity for them to come in and play for us and earn NIL in all of our markets. And so it's something unique we're doing for these kids in our league that's going to be a big part of where we're going forward. So we start with these 6 initial markets for 2024, and in each market we have a separate ownership group that owns that particular franchise. and in each market, we're promoting that there are local owners that are involved in the team operation. And so that's one of the things we're looking at here. We're talking to some local folks about being a part of the ownership group going forward. We think that's always good to have local roots involved in what it is we're doing in the community. So if we're able to move forward, if we get approved to move forward, we'll have a name the team contest and create an identity for the team and set up the front office staff and hire people and bring them in and get things set up for the upcoming season, get our coach contracted, sign the players. So there's a lot that'll happen, but I think a lot of exciting and fun stuff will also be unveiled over the next 30 days as we ramp things up. So I guess my biggest message to the council and to the people that are listening is that we want to come in here and do it right, and we want to come in here and hopefully be talking, 4 or 5 years from now about renewals of lease agreements and growth and things we've been able to accomplish together, and boy, wasn't that a great thing. That's our goal. So I'm glad to answer any questions you may have about myself, my background, about the league, where we're going with this. But that's a little bit about myself and about kind of our vision for what we see happening.
Well, very good. Any questions by the council? I think it's an exciting opportunity. Of course, I'm a baseball person myself. That's very dear to my heart. But and I understand, if I'm not mistaken, that as far as the housing for the players, there will be perhaps host homes for them to stay here, or is that?
Yeah, the typical programs we have are with host families. And what's interesting is those relationships become some of the strongest relationships that these kids have with their host families. And it's amazing the stories we hear about people communicating with each other 10 years down the road, after these kids go on with their lives and they have those great experiences. It's also neat for families too, to invite these kids into their home, and especially if there are maybe kids in the home that get to experience having, a player around. And one of the absolute key criteria with these kids is how they're behaving when they're in the community, and that they're absolute great citizens, because they're coming from colleges all over the United States, and I don't think any one of those kids want to go be sent back home and have their coach deal with them if they didn't behave properly while they're here. So, but yeah, great kids, and host family is a huge part of what we do. The other thing too with our roster development, most of these kids will be college kids, but we're also leaving spots open for players that have used up their college eligibility but still want to play and develop as amateurs. So we'll have some slots for kids like that, especially ones that may be from the region that want to continue on with their baseball development.
Okay. Well, very good. Any final comments or questions from the council? Okay. Certainly appreciate your journey all the way from Kansas down to be here this evening, and thank you for providing an opportunity for our community. So.
Well, we appreciate it. Thanks again for the opportunity.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Perry.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Okay. All right, so we do have this scheduled for action this evening by the council. Any final comments by the council or questions? Okay. Any questions or comments from the staff on this matter, Dr. Orr? Okay. All right. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the resolution. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Motion by Councilmember Williams and a second by Councilmember Davis. This item pertains to a resolution, so there's not a caption. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes unanimously. So, Mr. Perry, once again, thank you, sir. I appreciate your time in our community and look forward to a great opportunity for us. Okay. All right. You're welcome, sir. All right. At this time, move along to our first briefings. We do have 3 first briefings this evening. Item 1 is resolution number 2024-010, approving amendment number 4 to the city's agreement with Waste Management of Texas Incorporated, including changes to residential waste and bulky waste collection. And we will have a public hearing on this item at our next meeting on February the 12th, as well as council consideration that same evening. And that same schedule is in reference to also the other 2 remaining items on the first briefing's agenda. And Dusty Hensley is going to brief us on that item. I believe he has Mr. Ryan Frazier with him. So Dusty, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Well, good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Waste Management has talked to us months back about making a few changes to our current contract, and Ryan Frazier with Waste Management is here to discuss those changes with y'all.
Welcome, Mr. Frazier. We're glad to have you with us.
Good evening, Mayor. Good
So
evening,
I hear
Council.
you're the Doug Sims now, is that right?
Yes, we could do that.
Okay. Well, Mr. Sims was a very faithful attendee to our council meetings, and I know he lives over in the Paris area, which is quite a commute, but
Yes,
he
sir.
was very faithful. Now, I understand you're from a little farther out from that area, so.
A little further out. I brought the rain in from Dallas all the way
Okay.
here, so I apologize for that.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's not bad going back, but yes, I have assumed Doug's prior responsibilities, so happy to be here. And I know my time has not been long in front of council, but I think before I start, I did want to say just thank you for the longstanding partnership. I know even my time here with the frontline employees, it's very evident that they take a lot of pride in the community. I think you guys probably see that through some of our volunteer efforts, but Texarkana is kind of a lifeline to our folks, our team, and there's a lot of camaraderie around, being a part of the community, and I hope you guys see that because there's a lot of pride and a lot of effort that goes into that. So thank you from our team and our operation here in Texarkana. So tonight, I'm going to talk about some contract enhancements that Dusty alluded to. If I click this, will it go, or we can just slide down here? So just real quick agenda. We're proposing a 4th amendment to our current contract effective May 1st. And so we're going to go through the investment and what that looks like from WM's perspective, investing in a new fleet of trucks, and then the changes or the enhancements that would come along with that in regards to the bulk collection for residents, and then how that all shapes out from a marketing campaign. We'll tie it back to some additional partnership opportunities with Keep Texarkana Beautiful, and then we'll close it out with some financial information at the end. So first and foremost, not sure if the slide's fully showing there, but I think you guys can all read it, is Waste Management's investment. We have taken a pretty strong stance in our industry over the last handful of years to get away from the traditional rear and load collection that you guys have today. And we are transitioning our residential fleet over to fully automated side load collection. And the reason is a few things. Number one, it is time to invest in new equipment for this contract specifically, but the automated collection, first and foremost, is much safer for our people, not just for our people, but for residents in Texarkana. But the second component is it's becoming harder and harder to find labor that wants to ride on the back of the truck and sling garbage into the back of the truck. And so this takes the human element out. It's a fully automated arm that grabs the container, dumps it into the truck. It keeps everyone safer. And honestly, it's a lot easier to find applicants to drive the trucks. It's an opportunity to earn a higher wage. It's a little bit more of a technical skill to drive that equipment. And so for those reasons, we've seen a lot of benefits to keeping our operation moving forward versus it being stalled out by not having folks to, hop on the back of the truck. That was experienced a lot during COVID, as you guys can recall. And so it's proven to be it's very important for us to go that direction operationally. And so with that, Dusty alluded to this. We talked early on last year to staff, David and Dusty both, about what that looks like. And so from a collection standpoint, we could come in and start servicing it today with automated side load trucks. But the second component of that is how do we get the older fleet of rear load trucks and start retiring some of those assets. And so one way to do that is to come in and look at how we're collecting the bulk today for the residents of Texarkana. So right now, residents are allowed one item outside of the cart, in addition to putting contents in the cart. And so what we're proposing with this enhancement is going from one item a week to 4 cubic yards per month per household. This is something that we've done in several communities across the state of Texas. This isn't a new philosophy that we're just trying out. It's proven to be very successful, but our approach would be, we would define a monthly collection schedule. So the city would be broken up into 4 different sections. Section 1 would be picked up on week 1, for instance. Section 2 on week 2, for instance. And we would have that week to pick up the bulk. And so it allows us to work in a more confined area, and it allows residents to put out up to 4 cubic yards in addition to their cart on their scheduled bulk week. For a lot of reasons, from a code enforcement standpoint, there's much greater curb appeal. It's easier to kind of manage the trash and the litter as well, going to that type of collection. And then, so how do we do that, right? With any change, communication is key. We have done this across the state of Texas and Oklahoma, which is the market that represents Texoma. And we've got several different marketing materials that we can present. And so what we've talked with David and Dusty about is coming alongside the city to create a customized, marketing material for the residents so that they understand the program, and then also an agreeable transition period. So May 1st would be the date that it would go into effect, this change. But with the change, of course, we want to make sure that we ease into that transition. We're not going to draw a hard line in the sand and expect everyone to change behaviors overnight, but we would work with the city, making sure that we're educating folks where they need to be educated, and we're helping make sure the trash is picked up off the street. And we alluded to the partnership up front. Waste Management is very proud to be operating in the city of Texarkana. We partner in many events throughout the year. Hopefully you guys see our folks out in Neighborhood Night Out and a bunch of other community events. This picture down here on the right that you can't see is our district manager there at the school with kids. We do a lot of education and sustainability. And so one of the things that's built into the contract is historically has been 100 hauls a year free for the city to use at your leisure. We haven't been getting quite 100 out the last few years, and so what we decided to do is we pulled back 25 of those hauls that were not getting historically used, decided to donate $10,000, which is a new contract enhancement, to keep Texarkana beautiful, or another similar organization. So it's a partnership opportunity to extend from our behalf to donate those dollars to the city. And then lastly, what does this mean to you all? With any change, right, we want to know what the final number is. And financially, we talked about this, several different ways to look at this. And it's been a tough last couple of years from a CPI standpoint. We've all felt inflation. Our contract increases have been a little bit higher in terms of percentage, just based on CPI calculations. And so with this change, we agreed in cooperation with the City of Texarkana that we would withhold our 2025, or I guess 2024 CPI. So what would typically happen on October 1st, rather than introduce a rate adjustment at that point in time that the contractor calls for, we would just withhold it for starting October 1st all the way through 2025. So that is what we're proposing effective May 1st. Any questions?
Well, I've actually seen one of those side-mounted units in service. It's actually my street about a month or so ago. My pickup day is on Mondays.
Okay.
And it's a very impressive piece of equipment to watch it lift the cart up and dump it and place it back down, and it's all automated. It's real neat to see that. So, and it's also safer. They don't have to worry about someone getting hit or something like that, or falling off a truck or something like that. So that's good. I would like to say that Jared Miller does an excellent job. Anytime I have a question or concern or anything like that, he is very, very fast to respond and
Yes,
takes
sir.
care of our citizens. So he does a great job, and you know, we appreciate your drivers. They're always operating in a safety type environment, using safety, and very friendly. And if it's real hot, I'll give them a bottle of Gatorade when they come by. So
Well, that's appreciated.
yeah,
Thank you.
so they do that, and you know, I utilize my trash. You know, I'm a very strong proponent of recycling as
Sure,
well as
yeah.
green waste, because I do my own yard work, and so they do an excellent job picking those up. I guess the only question I have, and so you mentioned that this was going to be, the city would be divided into 4 different zones for the bulk pickup. So how does that work for just the common citizen, you know, who lives on Main Street, for example? How does that schedule work?
So we would define those sections, right? And I think we haven't gotten that far yet. We wanted to obviously get this behind us, and then I think there's a couple different ways we can look at it. But Jared and his team, we've talked operationally that, you know, he's kind of already got it, you know, figured out which days are going to go on which weeks. And so, you know, Monday service traditionally would be like a week 1 of the month bulk collection. I think, I don't know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday and Thursday. 2 of the sections he believed he could combine based on kind of the density and the makeup. But we would, you know, we'll communicate that out with collateral. We can do social media campaigns. We can do door flyer. There's a bunch of different opportunities to educate folks. And sometimes, you know, we've done it in communities and been successful where we just put out, you know, signs at the main thoroughfares in those areas, just kind of reminding folks that, hey, it's your bulk week coming up, you know, have your contents out by Monday or whatever we decide, you know, when we finalize it. But that, you know, sometimes you can just go old school and communicate that way. So there's several different ways we've seen that have been effective. We can work out those details, but does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. And so can you also share perhaps with us some bulk type items that would be acceptable, and then maybe some bulk type items that would not be acceptable as far as pickup?
Yeah, so we define bulk as anything that doesn't fit inside of the container effectively. So what we don't want to see is a bunch of extra MSW household generated trash out with extra bags. If you're doing a big clean out, obviously that would work. Any sort of appliance, you know, just big heavy items, couches, chairs, furniture, any of that stuff. It's a lot of things that come out of our garages sometimes, but anything that just doesn't fit inside the bin would be defined as a bulk item.
And so something that may not be appropriate, for example, a microwave oven, is that something that would be picked up or not?
Yeah, so there are different things, household hazardous waste type materials that we would need to, we would prefer to handle appropriately. We haven't got into the details on that, but Waste Management has its own at your door program where we can look at that down the road and entertain how do we handle or how do we pick up household hazardous waste. I'm not sure how Texarkana does it today. You guys probably have some sort of a drive or some sort of a drop-off center. And so that's part of our education. We actually will send that out to the residents, what is appropriate to dispose of and what is not. And we try to educate folks on how to do that properly. So, you know, a refrigerator is a great example. You know, those can be disposed of as long as, you know, it's been properly kind of deconstructed and a lot of the Freon and stuff is out of there. So part of that's just education, but we intend to do that up front.
Any questions by the council?
Yes, I have one.
Okay. Ms. Hart?
What happens with the guys that usually get off and get the trash and get back on the truck? Those guys that work on the back of the truck, are they going to be a part of a re-education and retraining or something?
That's a great question, and I'm glad you brought that up. That was important to the city is that it remains kind of job neutral, and that is something that we have zero intentions to let anybody go. So a lot of the guys in the back of the truck are contract laborers, and so they're not actual Waste Management employees. But what we typically see is just through natural churn that the job creation happens, and so the ASL truck is a lot friendlier vehicle to drive for our guys. It's a lot less labor involved, labor intensive. And so we tend to see that the guys will stick around longer. It's kind of a longevity piece. It allows guys to earn a higher wage. And so through that, to answer your question, Mary, is folks will naturally progress upwards to different roles, maybe to commercial or roll-off equipment, and it allows for other jobs to be created within that. So I can assure you, it's a great place to work, and guys have great and long-standing careers, but we're always looking for quality employees to come drive our equipment. So I don't think we're going to be, I can assure you that we're not going to be letting people go with this change. There's going to be opportunities for other people to step up into some of these roles.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Matlock?
Yes, with the side pickup, will we have to have new trash can receptacles, or will use the same ones?
You can, good question, yes. You can use the exact same ones for both trash and recycle that are out there today. Yep.
Mr. Davis?
Well, my question was going to be along that as well. There's certain months of the year that I guess my family generates more trash than normal. So I've gone to my local hardware store and I have my own receptacles.
Okay.
What's going to be the process moving forward on those being utilized by the trucks?
Yeah, so we won't be able to pick up anything that is not, issued through our company. But you are allowed to get more than one container. That is part of the contract. There is stipulations in there to get, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many you need at your household. So, in your case, maybe you would need a second container. We could look at that, and get you one out there.
Okay. Any other questions from the council on this item? Okay, well, very good. Well, Mr. Frazier, thank you for your time. We thank you for being here. We appreciate the great work you all do in our community, and wish you best of luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, once again, we'll have this item on the next agenda for your consideration, council. Item number 2 and item number 3 will be briefed by Michelle Daniel for us. And item number 2 is ordinance number 2024-011, amending PD-01-10 for site plan approval on Lot 1, Texarkana Shopping Center subdivision, located at 4110 St. Michael Drive. Suzanne Russo for Home Depot, owner, and Cassie Permenter, agent. Michelle?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is a request for Home Depot located at 4110 St. Michael Drive to add square footage to the existing building for tool and equipment rental. The current zoning is planned development commercial. The future land use map designates this property as regional commercial, and the adjacent zoning is planned development commercial and general retail to the north and east, I-30 to the south, and general retail to the west. The adjacent land use is vacant property and a restaurant to the east, I-30 to the south, and retail to the west and north. The site plan consists of the construction of a 119,188 square foot addition to the current building. The access will be off of St. Michael's Drive. All other ordinances and codes must be met, and staff and planning and zoning do recommend for approval of this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Michelle on this item? Okay, item number 3 is ordinance number 2024-012, amending PD-20-6 for site plan approval on Lot 1, Richmond Moores subdivision, located at 5605 Richmond Road. GVH Moores LLC owner, and Kayla Wood, MTG Engineers and Surveyors agent. Michelle?
So this is a request for site plan approval at 5605 Richmond Road. The current zoning is planned development general retail. Their property is currently vacant. The proposed use is a convenience store and gas station. The future land use map designates this property as neighborhood retail. The adjacent zoning is planned development general retail to the north and south, general retail to the east, and offices to the west. The adjacent land use is a car wash to the north, retail to the south and east, and vacant land to the west. The site plan consists of the construction of a 5,978 square foot building. The access driveway will be off of Richmond Road and Moores Lane. A 6-foot by 8-foot monument style sign and a sidewalk along Richmond Road. All other ordinances must be met, and staff and planning and zoning do recommend for approval of this, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Michelle on this item? Okay, very good. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. At this time, we'll move into our public hearings portion of the agenda. We do have several public hearings scheduled for this evening. Item 1 is ordinance number 2024-002, amending and relocating regulations governing historic preservation and historic districts from zoning ordinances and creating Chapter 145, Historic Landmark Preservation and Historic Districts in the Code of Ordinances. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If there's anyone who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance? We have a motion by Councilmember Page. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Williams. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the Land Development Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Texarkana, Texas, by amending and relocating regulations governing historic preservation and historic districts from the zoning ordinance and creating Chapter 145, Historic Landmark Preservation and Historic Districts, containing repealer, severability, and superseding clauses, containing legislative findings, providing for publication, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. Item number 2 is ordinance number 2024-004, rezoning Lot 1, Block 1, Buchanan Avenue addition, located at 100 Jones Street, from commercial to single-family 3. Jermel Fulton, owner. At this time, I declare the public hearing open. If there's anyone who would like to address the council on this item, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart and a second by Councilmember Page. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Texarkana, Texas, by rezoning Lot 1, Block 1, Buchanan Avenue addition, located at 100 Jones Street in the City of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, from commercial to single-family 3, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Now the ordinance passes. Item number 3 is related to item number 2. It relates to the specific use permit. So item 3 is ordinance number 2024-005, granting a specific use permit to allow a single-wide HUD code manufactured home on Lot 1, Block 1, Buchanan Avenue addition, located at 100 Jones Street. Jermel Fulton, owner. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open. If anyone would like to address the council, please come forward. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Matlock. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning map showing the location, boundary, and use of certain property by the granting of specific use permit number S-783, location of a single-wide HUD code manufactured home on Lot 1, Block 1, Buchanan Avenue addition, located at 100 Jones Street in the City of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. Item 4 is ordinance number 2024-006, rezoning an approximate 5-acre tract of land being tract 13B, LT King Headright Survey, A-327, located at 3001 Bender Road, from single-family 1 to two-family 2, Dennis Pascarella, owner. At this time, I declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to come forward to address the council, please come forward at this time and state your name for the record. At this time, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Williams. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Matlock. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of, Texarkana, Texas, by rezoning on an approximate 5-acre tract of land, being Tract 13B, LT King HRS A-327, located at 3001 Bender Road in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, from Single Family 1 to 2 Family 2, containing a repealer clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Now, the ordinance passes unanimously. Council, relating to item number 5, going to request that we have this particular item postponed. There's been some changes in the site plan, and so this item's going to have to go back to Planning and Zoning Commission at their meeting in February, and then it should be coming back to the council in February. Dr. Orr, any other comments you would like to add, please?
No, that's correct, Mayor. You covered it. There were some changes to the site plan last week, and so staff felt that they were significant enough they needed to go back to Planning and Zoning. So they'll go back to P&Z the first meeting in February, and they'll come back to you at your next regular scheduled meeting.
Any questions by the council on this item? Mr. Lewis, do I need to read that item for 5, or we just have a motion for postponement and second and vote on it?
The latter, correct.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir. All right, so I need to entertain a motion of postponement for this particular agenda item.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Davis. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Page. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. This item has been postponed to a future agenda item. At this time, did you have something else, Mr. Lewis? Okay. At this time, we move along to our city manager's report. Dr. Orr?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a few updates to pass along to you tonight. First off, the city, in partnership with Texarkana College, announced last week an award of $500,000 with the U.S. EPA Brownfields program. And so this is a job training grant that's specifically tailored to address environmental challenges posed by brownfield sites while creating job opportunities for area residents. So to learn more about this program, the public is encouraged to visit the city's homepage, texarkanatexas.gov, and we have more information about that grant opportunity. Also last week, as a result of Resolution 2023-162 passed by Council at the last meeting, we held a signing ceremony at City Hall to finalize the new MOU with Texas A&M Texarkana University. This partnership benefit includes a tuition discount for all full-time employees and also is applicable to degree and non-degree seeking programs. The agreement also strengthens our existing internships, our fellowships, and collaborative programs with A&M. So we're excited about that opportunity and the opportunity for our employees to receive a tuition discount and first class free. And then finally, just a few save the dates. You covered the Homeless Coalition, so I won't go back over that. But did want to mention the Chamber annual celebration, Chamber of Commerce celebration is this Friday, January 26th at the Perot Theater at 6 p.m. And just a couple other items I wanted to mention. Wanted to thank all our city staff that worked through the adverse winter weather last week to keep services to our residents going. Our crews came in multiple times very early in the morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. shifts to make sure that roads were taken care of and that our water is on. And so really want to thank our crews. And then also too, you mentioned it, but I'll just mention again, everyone that was involved with Dr. Otis Williams' mural dedications. Specifically, I want to thank our own Chiquita Burks for co-leading the Rose Hill mural effort. And she has given the city a signed copy of the mural dedication in Rose Hill. So I wanted to show you all that now, but it's a very nice autographed copy that we'll keep here at City Hall. So thank you to Chiquita and Rhonda and everyone involved with the Rose Hill and the downtown mural as well.
Right. Yes, Chiquita, thank you very much for all your work with that. And we always know when Rhonda's there with with the cowboy. I mean, she really is decked out when she goes out. So, and that's great. I enjoy seeing her when she's out and about. So I know that y'all were put a lot of work in with the Rose Hill dedication that we had, and we had the city stage out there on display, and so that was a great backdrop. So thank you for all your work, and other employees who may be involved with that project as well. Your efforts are greatly appreciated. All right. Are there any comments from the, any final comments from the council this evening to the staff? Ms. Matlock? Is it the 3rd or the 5th? It's whatever that Saturday is. Yeah. Okay, the Saturday the 3rd, okay. Is that 2 o'clock? I think it's at 2 o'clock, yes, ma'am. And I think they'll begin at Broad and Hazel, where our parades normally begin. So I did have a call on that. So, yeah, February the 3rd at 2 p.m. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, hasn't the MLK Gala been postponed? 28th of, that'd be this coming Sunday. Okay, all right, so that's at 7 p.m., I think, at the Truman Arnold Center. Okay, all right, so that event was postponed previously due to inclement weather, so that'll be scheduled on the 28th. All right, thank you, Ms. Matlock. Any other comments from the council? Okay, if there's not any further business brought before the council, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion by Councilmember Matlock. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Hart. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all very much for being here. Have a great evening.